There he is. Here, let's all right. All right, all right. Put that music down to a manageable volume. There we go. There we go. All right. Hello. 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 I wonder where we at? 93.6. Okay. Nice little 2% day. You know what? We'll take it. That puts us up on the 30-day and almost up on the week. Because remember, this time last week, we were a little higher, but only by a skosh. Ethereum was around 3,300, if you recall. 3,200. Yeah. So it's making a bit of a recovery. Yeah. So that's where we be. That's not terrible. There's been worse places to be on the 13th. Let's see. How do you keep your couch from getting shredded? Barry, that's a good question. I don't keep it from getting shredded. I have insurance on it. You can pay, the place where I got it, you can pay an extra 10% and you get insurance on the furniture. So when it gets too destroyed, I just call them, and usually it's just like they'll bring cushions or whatever. They'll do it like one time. They'll do like a major replacement. If it's a technical thing, like, you know, a spring or that kind of stuff, they'll fix that forever. But they'll replace like surface type stuff one time. So I just wait until it gets really shredded, and then I bring them out, and they're like, "What did this?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know. Maybe it was guests." And they're like, "Do you have guests that chew on your couch?" Yes, I do. I indeed do. And in LA, that's not weird. That would be like a thing. Like, oh, guests that chew on couches. Yeah, that's like a kind of party that we have. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Yeah, so the Bitcoin's up a little bit. That's kind of cool. What does that do? Actually, interestingly, disconnect this one. What does that do to IBIT? Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Survey says it puts IBIT at 5307. Interesting. Okay, well, good. Good. It is what it is. Okay. Will there be future reward bonuses for Hypercycle Node Factory holders on Node Market? I think you discussed it. Well, yeah. But I don't know. Remember, we're not Hypercycle, Mark. We don't have anything to do or say about that company. They don't include us in the meetings anymore. We are on the outs. The only thing they told us the other day was to raise the price of the node licenses, the AND fees, like make the price higher, which is all part of their weird and not accurate understanding of what a third-party valuation or evaluation of a company looks like, and where those numbers are derived and who trusts those numbers. And again, when you hire a firm to do a valuation of your company, to provide a formal valuation, but to evaluate your products and your business and all this kind of stuff, when you hire a firm, nobody else in the world takes that with more than a grain of salt. No one believes it. They're like, but you paid them to do this valuation. It's kind of like when the banks were paying the credit rating agencies to rate the banks. Oh, I wonder if they're going to get good marks. So one might say that's sketchy. One might be right. So no one in the business world with more than $4 to rub together believes anybody that comes to them with a third-party valuation based on some firm's a firm that you paid to provide that. So what there are companies that do that professionally, that an interested investor would say, hey, I want you to go do this valuation of this company that I might invest in and tell me what it's really worth. So anyway, but Hypercycle seems to believe that they can hire auditors and hire it's as dumb as it sounds. It's as dumb as it sounds. Like you asking somebody's best, like you're going to go out on a date and you're like, well, I need a reference. Well, just ask my best friend. I don't know if that's going to be an accurate representation of you, Little Miss Catfish. So anyway, yeah, there's that. All right. So who knows? I don't know what they'll do. I know that we'll do stuff for our the node market NFT holders. Anytime we do something cool and we can involve them, we will, because that was the whole point. All right, let's see. Arthur Anderson was getting paid more for giving Enron financial. Yeah, right. Isn't that ridiculous? So, yeah, eesh. Yeah, nobody believes that stuff. So you just gotta be careful. You gotta be careful where you get your information. You know, it turns out everyone's out to screw you, and the ones that aren't might accidentally do it through stupidity. But what's the difference, right? Stupidity or malice? I mean, I guess malice, you might be able to talk them out of it, whereas stupidity, they're going to keep, people are perpetually stupid. They're just going to keep stupiding it up, dumbing it up. So there's that. All right, what else is going on? What do we got? Let's see. Anything else that was interesting? Cardano. These privacy coins, man, the behavior in privacy coins is so stupid. Look at, Monero, up 50%. Does that make any sense? Or does that seem incredibly suspicious? Yep. Large market cap projects don't experience 50% moves when things are normal or things are legal. They just don't. So when you see 51% on the week, 16% on the day, immediately a red flag should go up. Yeah, it's incredibly suspicious. And I would assume that a lot of these companies are trying to get all their basically quasi-criminal behavior out of the way before these new kind of laws and stipulations come in with the Clarity Act. Because I think most of these dudes would end up in prison doing the kind of stuff that they're doing right now, the wash trading, the sketchy, the pumps and all this kind of stuff. They would most certainly be getting indicted if they were doing this kind of stuff probably 6 months from now. But I guess right now it's not a crime. So there you go. Let's see. JP Morgan missed forecast due to lower debt writing. Oh yeah. Well, they're not lending, right? I mean, that's the basis of it. I haven't read about it. I haven't read specifically, but they're not lending. So no one's lending. You know, banks, which are the real central banks, when they see that the economy sucks, they don't lend. They don't say, oh, well, the Fed's going to cut rates. Well, heck, let's get some loans out there. No, they don't do that. They don't do it. Let's see. What else is going on? Oh, Aptos is up 10%. That makes no sense. Anyway, whatever. Good. Filecoin's up. That's good. I like that. Optimism is up. Good for those of you that are stuck in it. I took my hit on that and just went on down the road. Arweave is up a little bit. That's good. It's just kind of, Arweave just sits at like the $3 to $4 level. I don't know that I have any left. I think I booked all my losses on that. I was losing, then winning, then losing, then I think I took my Arweave, put it into Aptos, and then summarily lost all that. Or no, not Aptos, Aster. And we just been stuck here at like 70 cents for a while. But yeah, I got punished on that. Yeah. C'est la vie. C'est la vie. Hypercycle. Ooh, up to it's almost a penny, you guys. Look who's almost a penny. Okay, so that's what's going on in Los Mercados. Let's see what that price change is. Let's see what that price change is. Let's see. Okay, so 52.89 on IBIT. And then fifth is 31.67, 65. Okay. I'll take it. Right now, those would expire worthless, which would be an extra 60 cents for me. I'll take it. I'll take that 60 cents. That'll help me pay for all this cleaning I have to do over these cats. It's cat cleaning. 50 cents of cat cleaning. Okay, what else is going on? I mean, macro. What's going on in the macro? Let's take a look. All right. The inflation breakdown for December in one chart. That doesn't look new. But let's see where the areas they say were. Consumer price index rose 2.7% in December. Unchanged from November, according to the BLS. Tariffs put some upward pressure on prices for consumers, economists said. Well, if tariffs put upward pressure on some prices, but the CPI did not raise, it's unchanged from November, I'm curious where they got these numbers. The data is somewhat difficult to decipher due to distortions caused by the recent government shutdown. Okay. The inflation rate for consumer staples like food and electricity remains slightly elevated. Let's see. The bottom line is inflation is still uncomfortably high, says this guy at Moody's. Inflation for staples and necessities remains elevated. All items, 2.7%. And that's year over year, not on the month. Food at home, up 2.4%. Cereals, bakery products, 1.5%. Meats, poultry, fish, and eggs, up 3.9%. Oh, that's a big one. Non-alcoholic beverages and materials, up 5%. Oh, here's where the numbers come in. Gasoline is down 3.4%, but electricity is up 6.7%. Piped gas service, 10.8%. You don't think these companies are putting the wood to people right now? That's sketchy, dude. That is sketchy. Some of the other big ones, motor vehicle maintenance and repair. Why? You're not selling as many cars. You got to jack up the prices in the service center, don't you? People got to make the cars last longer. So that's up 5.4%. Medical care services, 3.5%. Rent of primary residence, 9%. So not up very much. Motor vehicle insurance 2.8. Airline fares down 3.4. Oh. Tobacco and smoking products up 6.8%. So the big gainers were vehicle service and repair, tobacco, piped gas service, electricity. None of these things are tariff related. I mean, piped gas service, where are we piping it from? Zimbabwe? I don't think so. I think that's all right here. So electricity, piped gas service, tobacco and smoking products, motor vehicle repair and maintenance. I mean, you could make an argument foreign tobacco is, I don't know, where does tobacco come from? Do we not have companies here in America that make tobacco products, or that all comes from everywhere else? So people are smoking, people are depressed, they're paying more for their vehicle maintenance and repair. Maybe maintenance and repair, why would you argue? Because tariffs have impugned higher costs on replacement parts for non-US made vehicles. I think what they're referring to is service, like service center time and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, these all sure seem like levers that are pressed and twisted inside the United States. None of that really looks like tariff inflation to me. I don't know, man. It didn't, to me. That doesn't seem like tariffs, man. That seems like to me a very bad read of what tariffs are. And if the argument is that most of these things made right here in the United States, these four little categories that went up, is because tariffs, that's a pretty weak argument. That's this guy at CNBC trying to take a stab at tariffs. Trump attacks Powell amid Fed incompetence fears. Trump said, incompetent or crooked? Ugh. And of course, JP Morgan Chase says that the banks could fight Trump's credit card rate cap. Think about this for a second. You want to see how dirty these banks are? I want you to sit back and think about this. JP Morgan Chase CFO Jeremy Barnum, no one cares, said the industry could fight President Donald Trump's demand for credit card price controls. Say, okay. Banks and industry insiders say a proposed 10% cap on credit card interest rates, which, by the way, have you guys seen when they repealed Glass-Steagall, which basically held those credit cards within margins? You see rates now that are up near 30%. 30%. And that crap is calculated month after month after every month you're hit with that. This is the dangerous side. Like, if there was a guaranteed 30% return on your money, is there anybody here right now, if it was a guaranteed 30%, that you wouldn't just hand them all your money and be done with it? You're like, oh, 30% guaranteed? You will guarantee me 30? I'm out. I am freaking done. This is the opposite of that. Only it's 30%, which is way over 30% because it compounds monthly. Well, it's actually compounding daily, isn't it? That's how it works. This is a good thing. These scumbag credit card companies shouldn't. If I gave someone a 30% loan and then went and took their stuff, they would arrest me for strong arm robbery. They'd say I was running a mob enterprise. So Trump wants to limit that. Who would take out credit card debt? Good question. Everybody that has a credit card. Go and look at your statement. Go and look at almost every one of your cards and see what the rates are. It's in the mid to high 20s. Every now and then you get 119, a little teaser rate at 12. They are all ridiculous. Doesn't matter how good your credit is. Does not matter. So anyway, Trump, there's a proposed 10% cap on credit card interest rates that would result in fewer credit card accounts. Well, basically banks are saying, well, fine, we're not going to give out as many credit cards if we can't give out the credit cards that have the 26, the 27, the 29% interest, which would cause a dip in spending and hurt the U.S. economy. That's banks' argument. Listen, if you don't let us steal from people, the economy's going to suffer. Oh, really? You mean people won't be buying stuff they can't afford with credit cards they'll never pay back to a bunch of scumbag bankers that break the law every chance they get? Oh, man, that would be awful. Imagine if you had to, be able to afford the stuff you bought. How crazy that would be. And that you don't get these kind of usury fees charged against you that are like, crap, should be illegal, dude. Anyway, the banks say, our belief is that actions like this would have the exact opposite consequence to what the administration wants for consumers. Oh, really? How is that a bad thing? Tell me. Let's see. If you wind up with weakly supported directives to radically change our business that aren't justified, you have to assume that everything's on the table. None of that has anything to do with you guys are effing over everybody with a credit card and you're okay with it. You're just like, oh, screw them. They shouldn't have used that credit card if they didn't want that 29%. The JP Morgan Chase representative was responding to questions about whether banks would choose to litigate to block Trump's demand made late Friday that card companies cap interest rates at 10% for a year. Last year, the industry successfully fought efforts by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to cap card late fees. They fought that. No, late fees is how we make all of our money. Did you see JP Morgan? You know how many billions of dollars they make off of charging bounce check fees to immigrants? Because what they'll do is they'll see you have an account with $38 in it. You write a $40 check. They bounce it. And then they resubmit the check 6 or 7 times. Bounce, 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 bounce. Every time you're hit with a late card fee, late bounce check fee. So this is the same crap. The banks are like, no. Why? Because banks don't make money lending anymore because they don't flip and lend. Banks make money with fees and with scummy behavior like this. Fees. And these fees they seem directly implied against the people least able to pay. Seems scummy to me. Anyway, so the bank successfully fought the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. You would think that the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau would have some gunslinging lawyers, but I guess they don't pay as well. Banks and industry, they always say banks and industry insiders, which is scumbags, that an interest rate limit would result in fewer credit card accounts for Americans and a dip in spending for the U.S. economy, as companies would simply pull accounts rather than offer them at an unprofitable level. Are you telling me that that servicing someone's credit card costs more than 10%? Bull crap. That is straight bull crap. The average credit card rate nationally right now, average, this is with good and bad, the average is 19.7%. So there you go, Scott. There's your average, 19%. That's good as long if you can keep bouncing them around like that. But that's a dangerous game. According to a weekly survey from Bankrate, while rates for subprime borrowers and store-specific cards are typically much higher, our belief is that actions like this will have the exact opposite consequence to what the administration wants for consumers. Yeah, we heard. Instead of lowering the price of credit, we'll simply reduce the supply of credit. Fine. You've already done that in the housing market. Okay. No big deal. Do it. Quit making scummy loans. And that would be bad for everyone. Consumers, the wider economy, and yes, at the margin for us. I'm trying not to use profanity today. I'm not going to use profanity, but I want to. If I saw this person in person, I would probably slap their face off of their face, is what I would do. The CFO declined to directly answer a question on whether JP Morgan would comply with Trump's demand, which has a proposed January 20th start date. Banks that don't follow the directive are in violation of the law. Good. F them. You want to quit giving out credit because your little scammy, we can't make money if it's not more than, if it's not 23% or 19.7%, we can't make any money. You can't make money if you don't lend. How do you make money on a house? Somehow you manage to do that at 6%, 5%, 7%. So why is it that credit cards, which are much easier to manage than a house, why? Because probably there's a lot more credit card defaults. And it's got to be a lot more expensive to foreclose and take over a property on a house than it is to. But I guess the math is the math. And if I was a banker, I would probably be arguing, it's not fair. And then I would go get in my Ferrari and drive home. So just scream how unfair the world is. It's unfair. Still, it's unclear how Trump's mandate would be enforced. There is no U.S. law capping credit card rates, though a bill was introduced last year from Senator Josh Hawley is awesome. That guy is probably, if there was one guy we need to somehow make it through the grinder and become president, it's Josh Hawley. That guy's awesome. You ever heard that guy go after people? Dude, he will shut you down. He will embarrass you. Anyway, Josh Hawley and Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont that would limit APRs to 10% for 5 years. However, the bill is stalled in Congress. Why? Because the Elizabeth Warrens of the world and the Nancy Pelosi's have these credit card companies and banks so far up their a-hole that you can almost see the credit card companies' hands moving their mouths. Man, what a scummy. Banks are scum, dude. Let's see. Global central bankers unite in defense of Jerome Powell. Okay, well, let's wait and see. Let's read through the indictments when he has his day in court, like all the other Fed members that seem to have their day in court. Some of them just disappeared. Let's see. Trump attacks Powell again amid Fed incompetence fears. Incompetent or crooked? President Donald Trump called Reserve Chair Fed Jerome Powell either incompetent or crooked. Yeah, I mean you're either a crook or an idiot, right? What is it? Are you a criminal? Are you a dummy? The latest attack came as Trump's Department of Justice faces growing Republican opposition over its Trump's Department of Justice. See, you can already see how CNBC likes to inject their angle just in the verbiage, right? Trump's Department of, no, it's the United States Department of Justice, dummy. Let's see, JP Morgan Chase, Jamie Dimon said, anything that undermines Fed independence is probably not a great idea. Oh, it's interesting. Did you know that Jamie Dimon is a shareholder at the Federal Reserve? Like he is an investor in the Fed. Oh, this is the perfect guy to ask. Donald Trump Tuesday slammed Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell as either incompetent or crooked, even as the Department of Justice faces growing opposition over its criminal investigation of central bank leader. Trump threw his last punch at Powell after being asked whether the unprecedented action undermines confidence in the Fed, which has long enjoyed independence from the executive branch. Well, until they want that money to do their build out, right? Then they come right to the U.S. government's your best friend. Oh, we need that taxpayer money. We need those billions of dollars of taxpayer money. We need a garden. We need a garden. He's billions of dollars over budget, Trump said, apparently referring to costs related to multi-billion-dollar renovation of the Fed's Washington headquarters, which is the center of the DOJ's probe. So either he is incompetent or he is crooked. I don't know what he is, but he certainly doesn't do this. I'm reading it. He doesn't do a very good job. Trump's comments to reporters outside the White House came as bipartisan criticism of the investigation and support of the Fed's independence continues to grow. Again, this is CNBC injecting their little bits in here. You can tell some lefty person with multiple pronouns wrote this. Everyone we know believes in Fed independence. This is said JP Morgan Chase. But if the Fed's independent, why are they using taxpayer money for their build out? Like which is it? Is the Fed independent, or are we cutting them checks and financing them? And if we're financing them, then they're not very independent, are they? And independent doesn't mean that you get to break the law or pull scams. So, Jesus, man. The Supreme Court is somehow an independent entity, and yet it's within the confines of the justice system. Oh, wow. How do we manage that? The highest law in the land. Somehow we get it right. So what is Fed independence? That's so stupid. You think the Bank of Japan has Japan independence? It's the Bank of Japan. You F up, you're getting fired. Bank of England, BOE, ECB, European Central Bank. Like, dude, Fed independence, get off the gas. Anything that chips away at that probably is not a good idea, Jamie Dimon said. Scum of scum. And in my view, it will have reverse consequences. This guy's not, a lot of times I hear Jamie Dimon talk and he's just not that clever. Like, he's kind of simple. I feel like his IQ is about $105, right? He's not like a marsupial frog, but he's not like that frog. Anyway, and in my view, Jamie Dimon, it will have the reverse consequences. It will raise inflation expectations and probably increase rates over time. Expectation theory is false. It is provably false. It has never been a thing. It's only a thing for dummies. That's the whole thing. Expectation theory, this idea that if you think inflation's coming, inflation just comes because you make it come. Because you run out and you buy stuff really quick. Because you got to hurry. Hurry, go buy stuff because inflation's going up. Buy everything you can because inflation. It's not, it is provably false. Like using all. Our data set is all. Inflation expectation theory is a scam. It has always been a scam. Of course these guys, well, maybe they don't. Maybe that's the 105 IQ coming out for him. Raise inflation expectations. Why would that raise inflation expectations? Let's go through this. Jamie Dimon's position is, well, if the Fed wasn't as independent as Jerome claims it is, then the president and his staff might want lower interest rates to create a more fertile environment for hopefully growth. That's what the idea is. The idea is that it's a kind of easing. We all know it's not, but that's the idea. Remember, these are simpletons. So their idea is lower rates, incentive to do stuff, right? Of course, we know banks quit lending, and because we just read about that and all these other kinds of things. And we know that there's actually no money that goes anywhere. Even in QE, there's no money that goes anywhere. That's the even funnier part. But the 105 IQ Jamie Dimon. Trump would make the Fed lower rates, then the Fed would lower rates, and that would make inflation soar. Why? Well, because when you raise rates, then inflation goes down. No, it doesn't. Well, when you lower rates, inflation goes up. No, it doesn't. Never has. Zero proof of that. And your data set is all, like everything that's ever happened. Zero proof. So these guys are either so dumb that they really don't know how the system works, or they're so corrupt. And I guess that's kind of what Trump was saying, isn't it? He's either crooked or incompetent. These guys are all one of the other. Criminals or idiots. The whole pile of them. Criminals or idiots. Jamie Dimon's one of the worst. But I think he's actually stupid. I've heard him talk, and he's just not a clever guy. I don't think he's an intellectual giant. Dimon's remark echoed similar concerns from a slew of Republican lawmakers, including some who are reliable supporters of Trump. Let's see. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro signaled overnight her office in Washington, D.C. has no plans to drop its legal effort against Fed and Powell. Uh-oh. Oh, interesting. So these little slanty remarks and snide articles, I guess, from CNBC, they aren't enough. The left media is not enough to shut down, the Department of Justice. There's probably something there. I'm pretty sure that they crossed the I's and dot the T's before they brought this action because they knew there'd be this kind of blue pushback, is what I'm guessing. Yeah, that's right, Carol. He could be, but he would be one more than the other, right? He would be more stupid than corrupt, or more corrupt than stupid. I think with Jamie Dimon, he's more corrupt than stupid, so you're probably right. I think with Jerome, he's more stupid than corrupt. Neither of them have a clue how money actually works, or currency actually works, or they know how bullcrap financial products work. They know how to skin immigrants for fees. Oh, they're very good at that. They know how to go have fancy luncheons and get paid a lot of money. None of these guys could actually trade or invest their way out of a wet paper bag if they didn't have insider information. None of them. They would be nothings. They would be nothings. You'd see them bagging groceries, and you'd feel bad for Jerome, old little stink-eyed Jerome with his big ears. You'd feel bad for him. Paper or plastique? It's plastic, stupid. Oh, well. Yeah, because he can't read. Anyway, let's see. We need this like a hole in the head, said some guy. The United States Attorney General's office contacted the Federal Reserve on multiple occasions to discuss cost overruns in the chairman's congressional testimony, but were ignored. Oh, really? So Jerome and company had a chance to deal with all this, to litigate this privately, but just decided that they were above the law. We're not listening to that. We don't believe we need to respond to the Department of Justice. The United States Attorney's office calls you and says, we need to talk about these overruns. We just don't think we want to talk about it. Oh, really? You just don't want to talk about it. So they said, since we were ignored, it necessitated the use of legal process, which is not a threat. That's true. The word indictment has come out of Mr. Powell's mouth, no one else's. None of this would have happened if they had just responded to our multiple outreach attempts. Jerome Powell, okay, so now he's back on the idiot side. He's back on the idiot side. Yeah, and I mean, they called over and over, pick up the phone when it says Sheriff's Department, pick up the phone. Stupid. This office makes decisions based on the merits of the case, nothing more and nothing less. We agree with the chairman of the Federal Reserve that no one is above the law, and that's why we expect him to fully cooperate. Man, Jerome is just embarrassing himself. I guess he's just gonna go on the talk circuit and like, I was treated unfairly. Let me tell you how I was treated unfairly. Let me tell you how. Shut up, dude. Shut up. You're not going to win a Nobel Prize for rewriting the past, like Fireman Ben Bernanke, who screwed everyone and then wrote about it and then got a Nobel Prize for writing about how he screwed up the economy and how all those guys were idiots. Subprime is contained. Bunch of morons. Dude, these central bankers are something, aren't they? Central bankers. Nothing central. It's not even, the Fed's not even a bank for the sake of the United States. As far as the United States is concerned, the Fed's not a bank. It's a monopoly money lending facility where you take real assets and trade them for monopoly money. The Fed is such a scam. All these things, there should be no Fed. Just make it private again. Do your private. Well, it's already private. Go away. We don't need to hear from you. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can say. There's nothing you've ever done or said that's made a difference to anyone ever. Just go away. Sheesh. Anyway, that's what's up with the Trump and the Powell and the Jamie Dimon slinging mud. I like how in this article they don't mention that Jamie Dimon's a shareholder in the Fed. You don't think that's an important piece of data? Like, hey, this guy right here says NVIDIA is one of the best companies in the world. How much does he own? Oh, well, yes, he is a big shareholder. Okay, well, there we go. I'm sure there's no bias. I'm sure no rose-tinted goggles. Yeesh. Okay, so that's the macro. Dow is down 312, which is a little bit over a half point. S&P is down. It's not even basically down. NASDAQ is up. They're all basically flat. But JP Morgan shares fell. Despite better than expected numbers, and grapple with volatility from a flurry of President Donald Trump proposals floated in the past few days. JP Morgan shares dipped more than 2% even after the fourth quarter results beat on the top and bottom lines, while both company-wide and equities trading revenue increased in the quarter. Investment banking fees fell and missed expectations. The company CFO also signaled the banking industry. Okay, great. There's more of the, we could push back. So if the president signs something, an executive order, or whatever way they do this, until someone in Congress says that's not legit, I think you're supposed to do what they say. And I think if you don't, I think that's a violation of the law. I think. The way my brain works, the way my simpleton mind works. Who are these dudes going out there saying, oh, we could all just stand strong against what? The law? You stand strong against the law? Come on, bro. God. And pick something that maybe you're going to get some public support. You know, like they're not letting us donate to enough animal shelters. Yeah, that is bullcrap. You should be able to donate to as many shelters as you want. Yeah. Don't make your what is it, Hamburger Hill? Don't be the we want to keep raising rates on credit cards and sticking it to the American platform. It's not the one you want to die. You don't want to die on that hill. You imagine this dude, Jeremy, whoever he is, after he walks around, people are like, you are a scumbag, dude. Even in his office, the CFO's office, you know that secretary's looking at him like, what a piece of garbage you are. What an absolute piece of garbage. Oh, this idea of locking credit card rates to just 10%, which I think is still pretty freaking high. To only 10%, it's not fair. We can't make money. Well, then you can't make money, Jeremy. Then you're too flippin' stupid to make money. You don't know how to. Maybe you shouldn't be the CFO of JP Morgan Chase if you can't make money at 10%. If 10% doesn't count as money for Chase, we can't make 10%. We can't make it. We just can't do it. Can't do it. What do you mean you can't do it? We'll go bankrupt at 10%. Why? I have a Ferrari yacht that has a Ferrari boat that holds a Ferrari. I can't get that with 10%. I need 30%. All right. No, I get it. I get it. You're used to sticking to people as the general business model. A company that's used to sticking it to people, they probably can't make They probably already spent. I'll bet you money, this guy, Jeremy, I'll bet you he has some credit card debt. I'll bet you. I bet you he used a credit card the last couple days and he hasn't paid it off. Old Jeremy. Old gentleman Jeremy. Anyway, so that's what we got. That's the macro. Nothing super exciting. Oil prices rise 3% after Trump promises Iran protesters help is on the way. Why would that make oil prices rise? I don't know. They're thinking that maybe there'll be some engagement there and that would stifle the oil export situation. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. All I know is price of Bitcoin's approaching 94,000. That's all I got for you. That's still pretty good. It's pretty decent day. We'll see if it holds. See if there's any legs to this thing. We'll see if the Monero idiots keep buying Monero. What a bunch of dummies. Like, think about that. That means, look at this market cap real quick. Your market cap is 12 billion. Are you telling me that in the last week, 6 billion in new money came? I don't know, it's not directly that because it's not the whole circulating supply. Let's look. Oh no, it's all out there. It is all out there. So in the last week, $6 billion came into Monero. Bull crap. This, my friends, is a scam. God, there's a lot of scams going on. Jesus. All right, well, hey, what are you going to do, right? Listen, at least things are going up. Great for some of those people. But, I mean, should Monero be at or near its all-time highs right now? No. Based on what? Nothing. This is a scam. But I do hope they get a few more billion because, scam or not, I just want them to knock Cardano out of the top 10. That would make my week. Yeah, who knows? You might be right. Well, let's call it a day. Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't do anything my poor and solvent drunk, sugar on meth, grandmother or Brandon wouldn't do. And with that note, I'm going to bid you a fond adieu. I've got to pick up some wood planks. I'm going to be picking up wood planks all morning. It's going to be wood plank morning for me. Good times with wood planks. And on that note, I must bid you all a fond adieu.